Akiwande Oluwole Soyinka was born on 13th July 1934 in Abeokuta, Nigeria to parents Samuel and Grace Soyinka. His education began with the Christian lessons of his parents as well as the more traditional Yoruba spiritual customs taught to him by his grandfather. He had his
It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. White Gay in the building. How you doing? I know it's one of those mornings, but when the Lord see you through.
Amen.
Amen. It's a hard time.
We lost a very dear friend last night, and I didn't hear till this morning. I think it was a good thing I didn't hear till this morning because I probably wouldn't have made it on the show today. So you ladies are going to excuse me. I'm going to be quite dull.
Yeah.
So sorry. I'll hand over to Tokwe.
Yes.
May his soul rest in peace.
Amen. Amen. But be careful with the name because some of the not families are aware yet. It's still pretty soon. So but eventually, once families are aware, she'll be able to mention the name of the person. How are you doing, Tokwe? You are repping your brand today. What's happening?
No, I wore jackets. I wore jackets. Well, event planning is a whole lot of work. Next week.
Next week, 10 by God's grace.
Next week. Yesterday, I think we now finally have a proper flow of events, assigning time. One of the things, it's surprising. You still see recent events that the time management isn't like everybody's time. I need to tell all my speakers how many minutes you have, and I need to make sure that it's reasonable, that they'll be able to deliver value within the time. I have to cut 2 people that I was thinking would be on a panel because I feel like we don't have the time to give them meet. I'll move them to next year, but the Game of Money conference will be next week, Saturday. I'd love to see you. I'd love to host you. And it's both physical and virtual.
What is the objective? Because many people just hear Game of Money, you just think you're gathering people together. What do you hope to achieve at the end of this conference?
So I have learned that there are many ways to manage our money. Many conferences teach about how to make more money. The goal of this conference is to help you multiply and manage your money. So we heard about the CBEX scam. People thought that was a way to multiply and manage their money because they don't know other strategies. And I bring people that have seen their evidence, people that they have tangible proof of what they've done, to share their own different strategies of money. Because I might say my own, and it's not relevant to you, Moriah, because your world is different, your personality is different. But if you meet someone and the person is saying things that feels like this is me, that's the purpose of the conference.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Well done. Wishing you the best.
We'll be there.
Ramatu, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. So I'm super excited. I just brought in this printer because I know a lot of manufacturers have issues with printing their manufacturing expiry date, barcodes, QR codes on their products. So I just brought it in and I'm selling it. It's so interesting. I'm selling it. Imported from China.
Wow.
Yes, but it's very beautiful.
It's solving the problem.
On this platform, you only grow.
I'm telling you.
That's the only thing on this show.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this. So we're going bigger, wide, expanding.
course.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank
Fantastic.
you,
We love
thank
it.
you.
We love it.
And you, how are you doing?
Nothing major. Just thankful to God. Asking God. Yesterday I did something I would never in my entire life do, but I just did it afraid, and I think by God's special grace, it's gradually yielding fruit to me. It's very unlike me, but I mean, I'm thankful for the step that I took. But we'll just see how it goes. I'm just I'm expectant. This year I am expectant, and I pray that Daddy Joe said it's a year of landmark testimonies.
Wow,
this is
that's such a
landmark.
That's such a prophecy.
Yeah, so this year I am tapping into every landmark opportunity to get my landmark testimony.
We shall testify. Also.
Amen. I'm looking forward to get my conference. I'm one of the moderators. I'm pretty excited about that because
of my conference,
and I like being part of something that I know the origin. Sometimes I'm the kind of person that I'm not big on fluff. My no talk is not fluff. She's the real deal, and so I'm really excited to support you. People have been sending messages. Are you sure? I'm like, hey, listen, if it's a stock where I can go to the bank. Every other person I don't know, but this one I know. But I'm happy, and I'm happy for you that you're doing very well. Yeah. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Usually dull.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light camera fashion, where we strut, slay, and sashay, and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top of your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost.
I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
This na wetin you want.
After that day, the man
no go see am again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey find the husband, you not see sign say the guy is not, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we will give them to you, fact as it be.
Men no they ever get fault. If baby not there for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we not say if we open court in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Look, we not even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina State.
Welcome back. We're going to start with the nation. Okowa, Atiku's 2023 bid for president insensitive. PDP to sue Delta State Governor and others. Court okays playing of disc in Emefiele's case. EFCC detains Aisha Achimogu over alleged 8 billion naira deal. Zenith Bank shareholders okay 195.67 billion naira final dividend payout. Wow. Lagos Calabar Highway. Foreign investors network 6 Tinubu's intervention over the $250 million loss. How Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in Lagos hotel, says witness. Lawmakers indict NCC, telcos over kidnappings and others. Agbakuba demands retraction of Natasha's allegations against Akpabio. And Uitala gives out 42,000 life jackets to facilitate waterway safety. Okay, which story are we starting with in the nation?
Okay, so I have the retraction of the Natasha story. They said that the former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, that's Dr. Olisa Abakuba, has written a second letter to the suspended Senator Natasha Apoti, demanding a retraction of what he described as clearly false and unsubstantiated sexual harassment allegations against the Senate president. He said, owing to the fact that the embattled senator had failed to clarify the significant contradictions in her allegations, he said, if she can recall that in our first letter to you dated April 14, 2025, they requested that you clarify contradictions in your sexual harassment allegation against our clients, but that she has failed to clarify these sexual harassment allegations, and rather than clarify this condition, that she went ahead to delete the social media post, which to us is extremely concerning. So he said that they are saying that in light of this, and having also failed to clarify the inconsistencies appointed in our first letter to you, we demand that you retract sexual harassment allegations against our client as they are clearly false and unsubstantiated. So they are saying that she should withdraw it. Let's see how they plan to go.
So I took the Kanu story, the IPOB leader. They were talking about how they arrested him in 2015. 14th of August 2015. They said he had secretly come into the country. So what had happened is they have the people who are testifying behind the screen. They're not. So this one is identified as PWAAA. He was a DSS operative, and he said when they got to the hotel, he didn't register under his name. He registered, so they entered every single room, you know, till they found him and arrested him. They said they had they got microphones, flash drives, pamphlets, iPod pamphlets, ATM cards, wristwatch amongst others, and they also interviewed him. He said he wasn't a violent person. He said he was just looking for the emancipation of the Igbo people, also some parts of Kogi and Benue State. Okay. He said they played a video where he agreed to setting up a radio station in England, in London, and that he didn't register it because there was no need for it. He was fighting for the emancipation of the people of the southeast, south, and parts of Benue and Kogi. He says it was not a crime to fight for their emancipation. And he says he's not involved in any violence.
Okay, Tokwe.
Oh yeah, so I have the story of Aisha Achimogu. This popular businesswoman was yesterday detained by the EFCC, and the allegations against her is that there is alleged 8.71 billion oil block transaction. She's a major socialite, and she'll be arraigned in court today. They said she was grilled for 8 hours yesterday, and that the questions were concerning how she came about having 136 bank accounts, especially corporate types. They also said that the cash transactions transferred to the federal government accounts through her company. There were They said there was inflow of 8 billion into our corporate account, and it was an investment fund for the acquisition of an oil block. There's a whole lot to the story. The investigation is still ongoing. It's an allegation until, well, we get the more details after court today.
Okay, so I have a story of the consortium in the U.S. So the consortium of foreign investors is seeking the intervention of Mr. President in the alleged destruction of the investment valued at $250 million for the Lagos-Calabar Highway. According to them, in an open letter to the president, they claim that the diversion of the Lagos-Calabar coastal road affected their estate project, which is the Winhomes Global Services at the Okun-Aja Lagos suburb. The investors expressed disappointment, and they said that they felt betrayed by what they described as a non-adherence to transparency and fairness and the rule of law. According to them, they had invested in Nigeria's development based on the administration's renewed hope agenda. And they have alleged that the actions of some officials have raised concerns about the government's commitment to protecting their investments. So the investors refuted claims that the marine cable project necessitated the inland diversion. The list, so according to them, I think government is saying that there was a marine cable project that actually caused the government to move and divert the highway, their project actually
to their land.
But they were saying that they actually sent in their own experts. They claimed according to them, they said that there was nothing like that. That's incorrect based on their own findings and their own analysis. But I mean,
I would love the government to call them today. But I'm into real estate. I know these people. They've been complaining.
Yes, for a while.
Have a conversation with them, please, because it's really, it's giving the industry a very bad name, and it would affect the inflow that comes from diaspora if this is not treated appropriately. So the government has their own. The company said they've done their own too. So if you sit down and you cross it together, you can have a win-win situation.
The Nigerian factor here is the fact that when people like this complain, we just think it will blow over. It won't blow over. You need to confront the issue, have a conversation. The same they are coming to the public, you also need to have a public conversation with them so that we know that you are addressing it. It's when nobody is saying anything, it looks as if government is not taking it seriously. Moving now, okay, we have to move on to point, but let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
And all the passengers. Efficient. It's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final decisions on policies, programs of government that will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this overpass, we are providing what we call a permanent solution.
This place is one of the most dangerous areas at the biosecurity environment.
This can go into the news and every crumbs of your neighborhood.
Our goal is to remain as Africa's model megacity, to move our GDP from the 5-6 position to the 3rd position, and we believe is achievable with all the commitments we have.
Explore the city of Lagos, where dreams are made and possibilities are endless.
I'm
Adedoja Salamadini. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocate.
For staying with us. We'll continue with the review. Let's continue to punch now. Hurricane Tinubu, PDP and National Working Committee and governors meet next week to avert defections. Nigeria risks breakup without federal reform, says Anyaku. NSA plans joint security screening at airports. U.S. jails Nigerian who defrauded 400 elderly people of their inheritance. Kanu's trial. DSS submits Radio Biafra devices in court. NNPCL shakeup. MDs of Port Harcourt, Warri, Kaduna refinery sacked. Obi doesn't need PDP. Atiku coalition to defeat Tinubu, says NLC. And Chief of Army Staff vows tough offensive as Boko Haram kills 40 in Borno. Okay, which story are we starting with, YK? I'm going to start.
Yeah, a 36-year-old Nigerian, Okezie Ogbata, has been sentenced to 97 months in prison. That's about 8-point-something years in prison for his role in a $6 million transnational inheritance fraud. They were writing letters to elderly people saying they had inherited this amount of money, but they had to pay some certain dues before they could get the money. Family member who died overseas, he pleaded guilty, so he got. They'd done over $6 million from more than 400 victims. So they worked with other countries, the Portuguese prosecution service, and the Americans. So anyway, he's got his jail sentence.
Right. Okay, another
story. Nigeria up and down.
Okay, so I still have the Boko Haram story in Borno. Just so sad. They said in less than 24 hours, suspected Boko Haram terrorists killed over 40 people in multiple attacks across Borno State, razing down houses and a church. They said that these occurred in different locations between Kala, Balge, and Damboa local government areas. They said about 26 travelers ran over. They planted all these explosives on the road, and then 26 of them ran over it. And that also said that this happened traveling along the Kala Balge road to Gamboru Ngala local government area of Borno State. They said the tragic incident led to the death of 26 persons, which includes 6 males and 4 females and 6 children. Also, they said the terrorists attacked during a funeral, and they entered and they were shooting around the shots. They said it was a horrific experience according to those who witnessed the shooting and killings. And they also said that that they abducted as well, and that the identities and number of those abducted were still unknown as residents fled for safety. But the governor has come out. He said it's unfortunate that the renewed Boko Haram attacks and kidnappings in many communities are almost on daily basis without confrontation, signaling that Borno State is losing ground. And he also said that he urged that the federal government come to the aid of the state in every area possible. He said the state government currently needs whatever it takes to make sure that this thing is brought to an end. Anything it will take for Borno to have total peace, Borno State's government needs it. They've even taken over Chibok, this thing. So they are gradually taking over Borno State. Yeah,
but the other governor was
not careful.
Let me. I think
when once Lagbaja died, the army don't seem to have gotten themselves.
I just hope they're able to fix it.
Yeah, I want to take the story of it's still within the security space, but the NSA, that's the Office of the National Security Advisor, has directed the implementation of a one-stop joint interest screening system across the Nigerian airports. He said that this came because there's a lot of complaints about the call for elimination of clumsiness when you get to the airport. There are many stops, there are opt-outing and streamlined security engagement with passengers in the aviation industry. A statement was given by his representative, Commodore Hamad Madawaki, at the Aviation Security Symposium. And he stated that the security people must work together. There's been several complaints about it, and I experienced it. I've even been at the airport when there seemed to be arguments between one agency and another agency as regards how to sort out travelers. And I feel this would be a very, very good one if implemented, where the NSA is directing that there will be a joint screening, less clumsiness, seamless process, this operation can be done and it will look well on Nigeria. So this is a good one. I can't wait for the implementation.
So the elder statesman, Chief Emeka Anyaoku, has renewed his urgent appeal for Nigeria to adopt true federalism, warning that the country risks disintegration if we continue under this recent or non-recent, this current centralized structure that we have. Speaking at the 14th Emeka Anyaoku lecture in Enugu, he said that only a new democratic constitution that reflects Nigeria's diversity can save it from the fate of other multi-ethnic states that have collapsed under similar strain. This country was more peaceful and developed faster when we, in the first 6 years, where we had true federalism. So we've been talking about this for true federalism for a while. So I'm hoping that the government indeed. There's another story that actually caught my attention in Punch, but I'll see if I can get to it. It's quite interesting. Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Defections, PDP goes to court, says APC will soon implode. Lawmakers, telcos clash over kidnapping and phone-related crimes. Japa, we can't get doctors recruits, says Kwara government. Gowon Obasanjo governors orders to honor Clark in Lagos tomorrow. Trump's 100 days, how America first president is reshaping the world. And public sector deficit borrowing threat to $1 trillion economy, says Nasima. And Boko Haram kills 24 mourners, hunters in Adamawa, Borno, raised churches and houses. Okay. Which story?
Yeah, so I have the story of the Kwara State government about the Japa. They're saying they can't get medical doctors. They say the Kwara State government has expressed serious concern over its inability to recruit medical doctors to effectively attend to thousands of patients across the government hospitals in the 16 local governments in the states. They said they went as far as increasing their salaries and allowances just so that, in fact, it's even more than what the federal government is giving so that they can be attracted. But still, they are still saying they want to do the Japa syndrome and blunt refusal of doctors to work they are refusing to even work in the rural areas. They said there are 89 doctors in the state instead of they're supposed to have about 200, but right now they just have 89. And they said that they are saying that in order to solve this fundamental problem, the government is working on sponsoring medical students at the universities so that they can encourage them to stay. And they said, and I quote, "We have presented prerequisites to the excellency on actually harvesting this selector from medical schools. So the state sponsors you as a student for maybe a year or 2 years. You pay back by working for the state for those 2 years. The state has invested in you." So they are trying to make sure that they retain these people so that they can give back.
I'd like to take a related story that I saw in Punch, because the federal government on Tuesday announced the cancellation of the bilateral education agreement scholarship program, describing it as unsustainable and inefficient use of our funds. If you recall, this scheme was such that Nigeria had a deal with certain countries, China, Serbia, Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, Hungary, and a few other countries, where we take hundreds of our students abroad and we pay for their school fees, we pay for their upkeep. And if you recall, many students were complaining from these countries that Nigeria had not met their financial obligations. But the government is saying they're scrapping it because it's not sustainable. That money can be better used for people like this, these students, and support them, the medical system, because we need doctors in our country. So I totally agree with the government, although it's important that they meet their financial obligations at least until cancellation. It's unfair for those students to continue to be stranded. I remember last year we took that story where lots of them were complaining that even their allowances were not paid by the government, and the government said we can't afford it. Dollar has changed, naira to dollar has changed, and we can't afford to continue to sustain that scheme going forward. Any other story in
Yes,
Vanguard?
I do have a story. The governor of Edo State, Monday Okpeholo, has already declared is going to deal with kidnappers and cultists. It talks tough as they demolish a building. So there's a building that was demolished yesterday. The building housed a group of kidnappers, and they kidnapped people there. They also did organ harvesting in that building. There was a lady that died in that building. Edo State. She said a young woman was killed in the process of organ harvesting, and that when they found out, the lady, well, the man was caught in Lagos. The case is in court, but as a means to deal with this decisively, the governor talks tough and says that when they find out any building being used by criminals, they will demolish those buildings. I know it's been done in the southeast before, and it's brought about improvement because people will not want, if the landlord knows they are using his own house for something, he will speak up and people around. So he said any other house that they find out is being used for kidnapping or for organ harvesting, any illegality, the house will be demolished. So he said it was a tough talk, and we're hoping that this would reduce crime.
Do you think demolishing the house is effective? Why not turn it into a
taking over the
homeless
house?
People?
Right now, anything to just stop that thing is just.
I share your sentiment.
You are demolishing a building. There are so many homeless people in Nigeria. There are so many orphans in Nigeria.
That's probably a level 2 conversation. So the initial one is that I'll seize it from you, I'll destroy it. Stop it first. Then you're right. It should now be used for something better, more.
Because once you have destroyed it, you are going to use government funds to rebuild it.
Anyway, So I guess
these our leaders, they're just wasteful things.
Okay, any other story? Okay, I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review this morning. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And hey, you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Eje, can you close the show, you for that long?
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime.
Thanks for staying with us. Today's hot topic is about a story we saw on Pastor Nkechi's page, NHN Couture. Okay. So there's a story we saw online that caught our attention. Was Pastor Nkechi, where she was still posting about a young woman who's allegedly missing because I think her brand is styled by Ejiro. And according to the story, she joined a prayer group. And in the prayer group, where she was, I think the pastor or whoever was ministering was prophesying, talking about, you know, when you're in a prayer group and somebody saying, they mention your name, that, oh, Ejiro, God is calling you, God is saying this to you, and then that makes you come to find the pastor to understand what God is saying to you at that moment. If it's something that happens to us a lot in the religious space. In this particular story, the Ejiro reached out to the pastor in the prayer group, and since then, according to the story, she allegedly gave up her house, gave up her entire property. She's been missing. Her family hadn't seen her for a while. Then they reached out to her. She said she's an adult. She has given up her entire career for this group. And there are suspicions that this group might be a cult, or they have manipulated her or brainwashed her to take all her property. There are different ways of looking at this conversation, especially when the adult involved is saying that I am here willingly. But the conversation is not about the story because we don't have the full picture. I mean, this is a story that is developing online. And as I said, we went to NHN Couture page and we're following the story. It's still early days, but I think our focus is how are you able to differentiate or distinguish brainwashing from hearing from God or being led by the Spirit? Because a lot of people have been in this situation. I mean, I've many times in the past where even when I told my family then that my first salary I got when I was after we broke for almost 2 years, nothing. Had absolutely nothing. And after working for 3 months on a project, I think it was Good Ultimate Search or one of those Multina dancehall projects, I came home with 420,000 naira. And for me, it was like a breakthrough. And I told my mom, I'm sorry. My mother was so excited for it. Okay, finally, let's go and buy fish. I'm like, this money, I'm taking it back to God. I'm sowing it. Now, because she was a Christian, she understood. But everybody else was like, are you okay? Don't you know this money? Do you know what this money can do? So as a Christian, sometimes you sound like a mad person when you do certain things for God. But the truth is that some people are really actually being brainwashed. We've seen what happened many years in the US. I think it was Florida or Kentucky, I'm not sure, where people were drawn into a room saying that we're going to go and seek God. Like they were in the dormitory and they all killed themselves. So how do you differentiate God speaking to you and you're being brainwashed in a cult? That's the conversation.
Hypnosis.
Oh, you're being hypnotized. Thank you, Waiki.
I love the perspective, because even I'm following the story and I'm feeling for the lady, the Ejiro lady. I'm feeling for the family, and I'm confused to how do we even intervene.
Let's go back. For those who have no idea the story, I'd like you to give us an insight from the start to finish. Just paint the picture for us first. So we'll take it from there. So
NHM broke the story of like two days ago of searching for Ejiro. Ejiro is a stylist, styled her, and she said she got information from her family that Ejiro has shut down her phone. Ejiro is a stylist. She joined a prayer group and decided that she's going to sacrifice everything to follow God and become a prophetess. And she's been isolated from her family. She doesn't talk to her family members in any form. Her mom fell ill last year. They tried to reach her to see her mom, and she said they couldn't reach her. When they made every means and finally got to her, the information was that she told them she wasn't lost and she was serving God. And so right now, the phone number is not even going through. Like, there's no way to even reach her at all. So they reached out to NHN to sort of like because they know she has a relationship.
Okay, so let's pause you on that. This first phase, Jesus did it. This thing you just said in the Bible that we are all reading. They asked Jesus. He said, "Who are my brothers and my sisters?" So we have been told that, listen, if you are going to serve God, you must seclude yourself. Those people who call you family may not, not that they're not important,
they might not understand,
but they might not understand.
So that's why I said I was confused. Because how can we tell if she's been brainwashed, and how can we tell if she's been manipulated, or if she truly is hearing from God? Because there are many things in the Bible that rational mind, they say, cannot comprehend it.
Exactly.
So my thoughts was, what would be the right approach to deal with this situation? Would it be, oh, let's just all pray? But because you mentioned those stories of what happened in the US, and the one where they were eating, a pastor said they should eat grass.
Yes.
And the one that they were with snakes. Manipulation is real.
Yeah.
People are being manipulated in the name of religion and in the name of God.
Yeah.
So it is important that, imagine the people that died in the US, if they had family members that would draw them back to say, it's not true. This is not the way to get to God. You don't need to die to get to God like this, but nobody probably fought for them. So this fight to rescue Ejiro is a fight that comes across as extremely valid, but how right is it? And how can we argue against an adult saying, this is what I want to do, this is what God has told me to do?
But I think she should be able to recognize harm from being going close to God, because somehow in the Bible, I know that they said Jesus came and saved the world and saved a lot of things. So if he came and said, he wouldn't want you to go through that stress. He wouldn't want you to go through that stress to worship him, because at the end of the day, it's him we are trying to worship, right? So I'm expecting that she will be able to understand where harm is coming, and for her to have sold all her things and everything. Did she think of like, okay, after I finish praying and all of these things, what will I fall back to?
You say God will show you the way.
Yes,
there is a religious statement to back up every manipulation.
Because Ramatu, let me tell you, when I gave God my 420,000 naira, I handed it over to my pastor, my church, trusting that this is for the work of God. I did it. Now, that was before I got my job at High TV. That was before Your View started. So by own I believe that I sowed it. It was a sacrificial seed on my own part. You were not there. You would have thought I was crazy. But I did it. So there are different versions, because I hear the version of NHN saying, listen, is this girl being brainwashed? But there are two sides. What if it's a choice she has made? We might not understand it. She might be safe where she is. Maybe in the next 5 years, we'll now see a bigger Ejiro who
I really don't know what to say.
Has sacrificially. I'm trying to look at both sides, because I hear you. I understand your argument. But it's important because of this show, we must see things from the other side, which is crucial for a robust understanding.
Go on. Please, let me talk about my worry point. Isolation.
Yeah.
Okay.
My worry point is isolation.
Absolutely.
Once you are isolated, the likelihood of manipulation is very high. When you are isolated into an ideology and not allowed to see other options, that's a problem. In my Christianity, I am allowed to question the Bible. I'm allowed to question a pastor. I'm allowed to question what I'm being told. Even the Bible showed us somebody questioning God. I'm not ready to die. You cannot kill me now. Somebody told God, they said, you're going to die. He said, no, I don't want to die. I've served you. So when you are isolated into an ideology that tells you this is what God has said and you cannot hear from any other person, you cannot consider any other view, that is a problem. And it's not even about religion. Even with groups, even with cults, that's how cults happen. What becomes a cult? You are a group of people and you say this ideology is the only way. Any other thing is wrong. Being isolated from the family for me is terrible, because it's not like the family wants to harm you, harm in any way. So for me, that's the concern.
Right, let me come to you. Your thoughts on this generally?
I think it's not only religion where they do this isolation of, it's all a lot of even the
organizations or what?
I don't want to call them. They're not the fake babalawos, the fake ones that will tell you, oh, go and bring all this. Look, I will tell you what happened to me one day. I was coming from work and walking, and I was about to enter my house when this guy stopped, and they stop you, and they will tell you, and he said, oh, they will tell you, oh, some woman in your house is trying to harm you. Now, there is no Nigerian person that doesn't have a woman in their house that is trying to harm them. No matter the Nigerian person, you have some woman somewhere that's trying to harm you. So they will first arrest you with that one. Then he started talking, this. Then he said, I should spit on my... I was a young kid. I should spit on my hand. I spit on my hand, and the spit came out here. You know, I was being manipulated, and I knew after a while, because it was, I think it was even the spit one that woke me up, like because he had done one or two things like that, and the spit one, Maori, he says, go home, go and get. I should go and get something, and I was looking at my house. I was looking at my mom and my grandmom, you know, sitting on the balcony. I could see them from downstairs. Yeah. I just woke up, so I said, okay, I'm coming, and I left. But can you imagine if I had not woken up? I would have just gone to go and pack things, and I would have given them. Because another guy came and stood, he said, yeah, it's true. That one was probably part of the plan. Okay. So it's not just he was a Christian something. So they do it, and it's hypnosis. Yeah.
Okay, let me come to this way, YK, because sometimes we think I feel maybe social media is the problem.
No, this one was no social media.
I know. I'm building somewhere. In fact, let me go on a break. When we come back, I'll build it properly. Stay with us right back.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejek, can you close the show?
Ladies and gentlemen, #1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for #1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah, but you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym though, you're getting fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No, sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
This is. That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person you see on sports?
That woman.
Damn!
Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's get talk now.
And Joe has been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. TVC Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your
Thanks for staying with us. I was building on something, talking about social media might be the problem why this story is being amplified. Again, I didn't want to talk too much about the AGO case because it's still developing. We don't know the details of the story. But many of us can relate to this experience, and that's why we're having this conversation to see how we can differentiate between brainwashing and actual spiritual exercise. I remember I was born in a Muslim family, and I became a Christian. And you know, when you first of all become a Christian, that thing will enter you, everything becomes a sin, you know. And, you know, I came home, I told them I didn't want the TV anymore. I didn't, you know, I mean, it was a 360. And my parents are Muslims, I'm wondering, is she okay? They brainwashed my child. I'll never forget how, you know, I snuck out to a church, and my father came into that church and was telling the pastor, what did he say? He said, you have brainwashed my child. You have brainwashed my child. I had to crawl out of the pews, rushed out to enter the car because I knew my father. So for my family, she has been brainwashed. But me, I knew what I was doing. Fast forward, I'm still a Christian today. So we are all saying, oh, AGO, they brainwashed her. She has given up this, she has given up. Yes, it's because social media has given up the opportunity to report somebody. Back then, that we didn't have the opportunity of social media to report anybody, people were making their decisions, adult decisions at best. And they were saying, I have decided to go this way, and you cannot stop me. It might be craziness to you, but to me, I am well aware. So how do you think this is social media is the problem in this? Are people actually being brainwashed?
Okay, so I'm of a different faith and I believe differently, right? So I think, yes, that it's not, I don't think social media has anything to do with this, because social media is actually telling us what happens, what has been happening back end a long time ago. It's just that now social media has now amplified it and everybody can see it, right? So I can relate this because there was somebody, because at some point there was a time they were saying kids were committing suicide just by talking to them through social media and all of that. And I was like, what are they saying to these children and everything? Until I was able to talk to somebody who read child psychology. The person said because he read deeply about child psychology, he knows what to say at the right time and how to say it that will convince the child to be able to do something and make the child do something at a certain point in their lives. And that is how they are able to talk to a child to set something to themselves if they want them to do. So I can imagine the amount of brainwashing and the amount of what they will have said to her to this level that she's ready to isolate herself. She was able to bring down her entire life down just to
her business.
Yes, just to stay in to do that kind of thing. It will really happen in my own religion because we believe that our imams they are just there to tell us what the Quran says. They are not. We don't see them as like
mediator between you and God.
Yes, we don't see them like that, and we don't see them because whatever it is that you want God to do for you, we believe that you can go and hold on.
How can you say that when people are bombing themselves under the name, as in like manipulation is happening everywhere?
Yes,
religion is being used to manipulate everywhere.
Weaponized.
Religion is being weaponized. Even both as it's affecting Christians, it's affecting Muslims, it's affecting traditionalists. People are caught. Everybody. They say come and bring head to make money. That's weaponizing religion. If you blow up yourself, you will get 20 something virgins. Is weaponizing religion. That is not what the Quran said. So anybody that is giving you an information, making you carry out activity that is contrary to what anybody rational would do.
But my Bible tells me that things of the spirit we can never be understood by carnal mind.
Those are the words they use in manipulating people.
Are you telling me the Bible is manipulating me?
No, we twist everything is about everything.
I'm
is
taking
about
it word for word.
Interpretation. Everything is about interpretation, and I can deliberately interpret something to make you do something for me. I can tell you something, and I would give you a meaning. You had a dream, and I would quote the dream and give you an interpretation of the dream that suits me. That dream can have another. My mom was saying, "Oh, something was chasing me in my dream." I said, "Mommy, he's chasing you to your blessing. There's something God wants you to get to. So He needs you to leave where you are coming from." Somebody else will say hear that same dream and interpret it to mean that they are pursuing you from your village. Is about interpretation. So some people deliberately manipulate interpretation.
We're talking about this Ejiro's case, and we're talking about what happened here in this situation. Do you understand? We're talking about her selling all her stuff because the pastor. So what I'm saying is, it really happens in our own side where they say bring money for us to do this, do that, close down the place.
I see
we put money for prayer, but not the one that will shut down.
2 is entitled. You don't have to debate it. It's a view, and you're entitled to it.
Debating. I'm just saying I see many affairs doing all kinds of things, and then they will give you go and bury it here. I've seen it, or not that they told me. I see it.
Okay, I have this call from Evelyn. Good morning, Evelyn. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Thank you. I just want to put in some words. The Bible makes us to understand that in the latter days, things like this will be happening.
True.
The Bible makes us to understand also that we need to test every spirit.
True.
It is true that people do manipulate people into doing the wrong thing. They come in guise, of religion. They could be pastors. They could also be Muslim clerics. Like my other sister said, even traditionalists, when they say go and bring the head of a human being, and then somebody goes all out, making effort to do that, it is not ordinary. That somebody will come to a family, you say he's a man of God, and he will set the harmony in a home. Either telling the man something or telling the woman something. Sometimes, I don't know whether it's 2 years ago, there was a story of a woman from abroad who was talking that her mom had been collecting money somewhere in Ondo State, and they were booking their flight for the life after, waiting for Jesus. They were secluded in a place in Nigeria, in Ekiti State, I think, either Ekiti or Ondo State, and they were told to be waiting. They were to buy, like we are buying your seat. So it is very, very real. And there's a thin line between hearing from God and hearing from the devil. There is a very thin line. But for anyone who is sincere, because at times the problem people have is that when they want to know tomorrow, so tomorrow is in God's hand, and it's given to you bit by bit.
Thank you very much, Evelyn.
The
volume is low. I can't hear you very well.
Oh, my volume is very low.
No, maybe
when you begin to hear, I think it could be from the studio. So that when somebody wants to know something about tomorrow, hello?
Yes,
we
go
can
ahead.
hear you.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not hearing you.
I can hear you.
Okay, when somebody is interested in knowing what will happen in 10 years' time, that is when they run into trouble. So, what people should do is to just live their life, follow God, pray to God.
Yeah.
The Bible said that the real Christians, when they are taught, they go back home and they check the scripture, whether what the man of God said, whether what the apostles preached, even then.
Thank you very much, Evelyn. I can let you go right there. So I'd like to stick to what Evelyn said. I was trying to look at the other side, but let's stick to this issue of manipulation because it happens. People are being recruited on a daily. So let's draw a bit more on that. The fact that how do you identify this manipulation, and how can family help? So there's the religious part, and there's those who are being sensitive in the spirit. There's that part. But in some cases, what are those things we should look out for? I remember when I was in the university, I was being recruited by this the group called Family International. I think it's called Children of God. There's a Christian cult in the US, and I loved their meetings. I mean, it was the first church you go to, and they will serve cookies and cakes and ice cream and everything. Yeah, I just wondering, they are so nice people, and they'll come to your school, they'll come with you, they'll come and study with you in exam time, and she was so nice. I'll be going to them with their conferences. Until one day I mentioned to my brother's wife something. I was saying I'm part of the Children of God. Like, he went to go and join cult. And wondering, for me, it's a church group. No, this one is not a church group. So she was able to, because they were registered, she was able to trace it and say, this one you cannot join. This is not a, that's why I had to go and look for a Nigerian church, because that one I know is not a cult. I had to quickly withdraw myself because family paid attention. But how can we here help our wards, our loved ones, our business associates from being manipulated and brainwashed by cult groups in different forms?
So, I got a message from someone, Ashimolowo Ademuyiwa, and he was of the opinion that, just reiterated what I said about isolation. He said, isolation is the language of abusers. He will tell you, don't tell your parents, don't tell your friends. They want to abuse you. Once they are able to isolate you and keep what is going on a secret, you are in a cult. Once they tell you outside people cannot understand, us against them, is manipulation. Said they will tell wife, don't tell your husband, don't tell your mom. Isolation which will lead to manipulation. Don't get yourself caught into it. I feel that at first I felt like, when I saw NHS comment, I'm like, I hope everything is fine. Then some comments were now saying, why is she carrying the matter on her head? She's not even related to them. If we don't act as a community, they will keep cutting us off one after the other. They will be capturing one after the other. So the only way to rescue someone that we feel might be manipulated or trapped, if the person already been brainwashed or hypnotized, your only solution is to keep shouting and shouting and hoping you can get through. Of course, for the Christians, they will say pray for the person. But me, I feel as you are praying, go and pull the person out. As you are praying, be screaming online, be screaming on TV, be going to the place, show up until you drag the person out.
Let me pause you for a second. Teresa has been holding for a while. Good morning, Teresa. You're live. Oh, I lost her call. You see, sometimes it's easier said than done. YK, who is one person you respect and love the most in this world?
There are many people.
Because if I pick one person, let me just pick. If you pick one person who you love and regard, and that person goes into some kind of a group and comes out and say, YK, you know what? I need you to eat this grass. Because if you eat this grass, I believe this will happen to you.
Something has entered his.
Okay. As I said,
I will know. You see, there are things. Look, I know because I have experienced it. I have experienced it. I remember my brother being caught up in this, and I was fighting it. I love my brother to death. I was fighting it. This thing, they want to finish you, and they kept up. And it was the driver that came to tell me, look, come on. There is nothing I didn't do. And him and I, because I didn't agree, we were at loggerheads. But I would not agree. So no matter what,
real.
If you tell me, if I love you to death, and if Theo comes and says, come and start eating grass. I'll say, what you more?
That's so it's
got you.
So you see, it's a psychological issue. You know what these manipulators, what they do is they look for those people who have these psychological problems. So they keep trying. Of course, they must have tried some people, and people will have withdrawn. So they get that person that is vulnerable and is able to, you know, take part in their destiny, and then they use that person. You understand? And then they'll keep using the person, keep like what Tokwe said, they will isolate the person, and then
wait, let me come to
you know me for who I am.
Let me
listen before.
So that's how
I come on the show and I say, Mariah, look, you know, we have to start doing things like this. So, you know, maybe we have to stop drinking tea. We have to now face this. If I start talking like that, you don't know something is.
I hear you. Let me use another experience. Let me use another example. And I'm directing that support because you're a Christian. You and I are Christians on this one. Look, I think I have a caller. Tunde from Agodo. Thanks for calling. I'll come to you. Tunde,
hello, good morning, Mariah.
Go ahead.
And the ladies. With the issue of this manipulation. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you clearly. Go ahead, Tunde.
With this issue of manipulation, I've seen and I've had a lot of series. Can you imagine a pastor saying that if you don't pay your tithes, you won't enter heaven? Another one, a pastor was saying that your first salary should go to the pastor. Why? What about your parents? I've seen a woman, she deals in fabrics at Oshodi. You know, this affair has manipulated her to the extent that this woman built 4 flats for this affair at Yanapaya until the children came in, you know, and got to know that their mother has been manipulated. They went to the house, drove the mom out of the house. Another experience I had with my immediate sister when we were very young. My mother deals in fabrics, and she has a lot of gold. So my sister was going to the post office then to go and collect a letter. Then this lady approached her and told her that, Kiriko, you know we are from a polygamous house. You are from a polygamous house. Your mother, your mom's stepmother has took your period for something. Then she told my sister to open her hand. And between you and I, my sister saw a pad with red. And the woman had told her to go to the house and bring her mother's gold. My sister got to the house, crying to my mother that she should give her the key to her room. My mother was saying, what do you want in my room? He said she doesn't give her to her. She wants to do something in her room. My mother said no. So immediately all my sisters and brothers said that they've done something to this girl. They now asked her what happened. She said she met a woman on her way to the post office to clear a letter. And she said she should go and bring her mother's gold. So manipulation has been going on, both Christianity and Muslim. No, it's only people that are realists that we know that this person is really manipulating them.
Thank you very much, Tunde. What is it in us that makes us susceptible to these things? That's the conversation I'd like us to have. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be. Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's live camera fashion, where we cut, slay, and sachet and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey my people, I greet you plenty. My name is Nachika Okeke.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of manipulation, and the reason why I wanted to engage Tokwe is because both of us are Christians, and sometimes you say, we hear it on the pulpit, giving up your house is not too much for God, giving up your car is not too much. You're trying to because you can give up everything. I know a family member. Oh, I'm told I have a call. Let me pause. Engineer David, thanks for calling. You're live.
David from Alimosho.
Yes, go ahead, sir, please.
Thank you very much. May God bless you there.
Thank you, sir.
Amen. And you too, sir.
If I may ask any one of you, is there no language that God does not hear? If God hears every language, there is no religion God does not accept. Whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are Judaism, you are a Far or another, God, everyone. Jesus knows about it. But the issue is that religion has become a business in Nigeria here. People should be very careful. In the 70s, we know people will call Jesus Igbo, and we know how it ends up.
Yeah.
And what this government should do, the problem we're having today is a religion problem, where they dabble into politics, predicting what is a lie. Yes. When this government wants to come in, 2015, 2023, they predicted that the Tinubu will not come in, and today he won the election. They described it as a religion issue. Look, this government should tackle the issue of religion. Yeah, in Britain, where they bring religion to us, they don't even practice the way we are practicing it. It is here you have a religion man who being marched on by aeroplane.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we lost Elder David. Thank you very much for your input. So I was saying before that we hear these things in the pulpit all the time. It's not too much because sometimes you feel that the world is not your home. All these material things are not important. I mean, and I can almost understand where an age-zero is coming from. Every other thing is secondary because you want to isolate yourself for your maker. Now, we hear this on the pulpit, although those kind of messages are not as popular and anymore. No, back then we used to hear those messages. Now it's more prosperity and growth and progress. But then, those were that was the old message we used to hear. And people are saying, let's go back to the old days, the doctrines we grew up with. So when you see someone like an AGO say, I'm giving up everything for God, why are we so concerned about it in 2025? Something that could have happened in 1995 and wouldn't look at it with the same lens.
Or 1895, and nobody will complain about it because
so go on.
Okay, so you asked a question before we went to the break, and I think it's a very powerful question. Why do people get manipulated?
What makes us so susceptible to it?
There's a strength of character. Is an inner strength, and you build it from when you are a child. It's that inner strength, ability to say that I can argue with something, I can fight something. It comes from within you. Because you see, some people get in university and they stay with a drug user as their roommate, and then they become drug addicts. And somebody else will stay with that same person and the person wouldn't. So it comes from within. It's that strength and the ability to say no and walk away. It's not everyone that has it. Parents have a duty to put it into their children. I have one of my son, my last born. He's very is very emotional. So he tends to want to please, and he tends to want everybody to be his friend. And I keep telling him every day, nobody's going to be your friend. Because for me, I'm looking at the future and thinking, someone can offer him friendship in exchange to get something from him, because he has this inner need to be liked, to be welcomed. People in that space. And we all go through seasons where we feel a bit down. We all go through seasons, maybe not manipulated within that period, but some are perpetually there. That's why some people stay in marriages where you feel like there's a way out for you and the person is not seeing it. It's from the inside, the ability to build the strength of your person to make those decisions. So I don't think that's even the case here for this particular person. I think that she just went through a season where there's a bit of confusion and somebody got in then.
Well, see, exactly. There's always the usual rhetoric that is used. Oh, there's just like Waike said earlier. There's somebody in your family, you have a stepmother. There's an auntie that wants to kill you.
See, red flag, isolation.
Those things, not isolation. They'll tell you.
Making you hate
first
your
of all, they'll
family.
mention your name. Are you John? Is your sister's name Funke? Uncle Emeka? Once you tell that to a Nigerian and it's accurate, you've got them. You've caught them for life. Anything. Because I remember I shared the story once. I had a pastor friend. Not a pastor friend, but like an acquaintance, and now he's a minister. The guy is he's a fraud. I know he's a fraud because I didn't know how much of a fraud he was until he was telling me proudly. I mean, when a fraud
with serious pride,
with confidence, telling he came to my house one day and he was so excited that somebody he knows had become commissioner. I think I've shared this story before.
Yes, you have.
He became commissioner. Mariah, my life has changed. And I'm wondering, how has your life changed because you know somebody became commissioner? Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to tell him he must not enter that office. I must go and pray. Because must let him know that to enter that office. Because once you become a public officer here, there's that thing of the person that left there before, maybe has some diabolical things he was doing. So they will tell you that they have to come and do some cleansing. So when you go for cleansing, that's some money you collect. In your own mind, they've cleansed. Now, after you now sit down, they'll now tell you that there's somebody in your office that is putting something, and the guy was telling me that that's the strategy he's going to use.
He has a breakdown.
Eat from that commissioner. He was telling me. So first thing, I cleanse his office. Then I begin to tell him about people who are coming in. Then every week I must come and do prayer for him. And when I do that, he sends me money. So in his mind, this is chop.
In his mind, he's done something good.
In his mind. So he has the tools of manipulation for this person. And because this public officer too is looking for progress in his work, he will carry the pastor. They all have pastors and imams and pray for them every second.
I'll tell you the states after, but I know of one state. The governor did not move into his office. He said that his predecessor had done juju there. So he did not move into his state house. What does that mean? That means they have done.
But you know that all our books actually they all tell us to do.
National television.
Sorry,
I didn't say that too.
I tell you, I'm picking for you.
Okay, go ahead.
So we know all our books actually, all our holy books, they actually tell us to do good stuff. It's just that sometimes we human beings have been able to extract and do some other things on our own, for our own selfish interest, right? Like I'll say for what I know, most times, like giving out this thing in church, like when you go to church and you give out car, or somebody would say this, that. For us, we call it zakah. That is what they call it, zakah. We call it when you give out of your salary or out of what you earn, there's a certain amount of money you sow, the seed you sow. So we call it zakah. So most of the zakah that we do, we don't do it in the mosque sometimes. Some people do it in the mosque, but most times what we do is we go out, we can actually do this zakah outside the mosque. So sometimes we sink a borehole somewhere where people can go and be getting water. We can just say, okay, this family, I'm going to give you this because you people are, there's poverty in the house or something, then we just give out money like that. So that's how we do zakah. That's how we give out. So most times the mosque will not tell you bring money here, bring this and all of that. So that's why our imams are just
the mosques that do come.
There are some mosques, but they are very few. That's what I'm
because
saying.
It's not
common.
I'm
not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
We had a landlady once. She can't step like this until the Afar tells her do this, do that, everything. She did everything. by what her afar said. Now that's manipulation.
Yes, that's manipulation.
It
but it's not even allowed.
What I'm trying to say is, let's not excuse anybody. They all do it.
Yes.
It brings up the case of having a personal relationship with God. It's not, God is not someone you'll be using different means to get to. Like, God loves you. Why would you not believe that you can have a conversation with him? You can have a personal relationship with him. You can discuss your thoughts with him. This morning, I slept around like past 1, and I woke up 5. I think before 5 a.m. I woke up tired, and as I was dressing up, I just told myself, because I have a very busy day, I just said, God help me, because like I know all I have to do. And when I said it, I felt such relief, and that's how easy it is to talk to God. So it's a bit worrisome that some people still feel that someone somewhere has the magic. And God, sometimes I feel like God deliberately does not answer some prayers. Sometimes when I hear people share testimonies, and testimony sometimes is because there are some testimonies of notable people that brought people into this particular group. So testimonies sometimes are used as tools. So I've heard testimonies of saying I gave up my car. I drove my car to church and walked away, and then a month from then I got a car, or I sold my house and dropped the money, and in 1 year I had 5 houses, and all those kind of things. It's not, God told them to do it. He did not tell you to do it. It's a personal journey between each person.
But they tell us to use their testimony at the point of contact.
Now, I am in a community with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. He's a pastor, he's a prophet, he prays, and we do this thing. And
Let me pause you for a second. I'm sorry, I have to pause you. I've been told I have to go on a break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one better.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does show dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
That's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But there are all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to us? What is his name?
That woman.
Damn!
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay tuned to TVC Entertainment for Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this matter. We're going to be wrapping up very soon. Let's see if you comment on social media. YK, you have any comments? Toko, you have any comments on social media for us?
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people can actually relate to many of these stories.
Somebody said we like looking for shortcuts.
That's it.
He said that another person said the Bible says that people will perish because they lack knowledge. A lot of people are spiritually lazy. To be in a relationship with God directly, to go through the process, which in turn makes them search for God where He is not. And for me, that is the crux of the matter. So I was saying a story before we went on a break, and the story was about how I am in a community and people shared testimony in that community of having a challenge with an estate. And then they knelt down. They prayed for them. One even said, I took mantle, I prayed and I put held that kerchief and I took the mantle and put it on the land, and the land sold out. So I have an estate in Benin, my dear sister. At the point of my most expensive investment, I took it to Dr. Lumide 2 years ago. I prayed. They said they prayed. I sowed seed. They said they sowed seed. I did mantle, put it on the land. 1 plot to today. I never say. Am I saying other things? Yes. Sometimes we think that if I do exactly what this person does, we need to realize that each person's journey is different.
Yes.
And some challenges you will go through it to learn. It doesn't mean God is not listening to you and that God is going to hear that pastor more than he has heard you. Because there are other locations I did not even take a pastor to go and pray there. I did not even do ceremonial launch. We launch it, we sell, we sold out. So it means that there are different seasons we'll go through in life, because women are particularly vulnerable. We are the most vulnerable to, and maybe because we're very emotional and we're nurturing, so we tend to internalize things a lot. Women are the ones where maybe if you are above, at a certain age, you don't get married at a certain age, you will now have the story of somebody, a pastor can come and meet you. My mom closed down her shop. I've shared, I did a video about it, but they very edited it for me. My mom closed her shop in Lagos Island because pastor told her that that's where they're not letting her have children. Like, you are not having children because of the people there. And she was, if she lives there, she will get pregnant. She left there, she did not carry beleo. But she left there. And that is the story of many people, where they will make sacrifices, sow seeds into commercial profits, and their life is, they lose, their life doesn't change. And they are feeling, at the end of the day, they just feel like everything is gone. So I'm obviously going to always ask people that, think God has given us this thing between our 2 ears. We must use it. Use it well. Don't think that somebody, I appreciate your intelligence, but I know that God also gave me intelligence. So if I take from you and take from you, I'll still process it to be sure it's okay for me.
We need to wrap up on this.
I want Ogumola Emmanuel, this is on Twitter, says you can only be manipulated if there is an emotional vacuum that needs filling. These manipulators employ voodoo and psychological tactics to prey on you. Most victims are not just cajoled, they are spellbound. I think.
Okay, so this one said they said these victims don't read their Bibles. Then another one said God is everywhere. God is in you. There is a God in you. Stop searching for what is not missing.
But you see, I mean, I have to wrap up on this. So I get the part of hearing from a third party, because sometimes they tell you that God will not tell you, will not come and talk to you directly. It is still going to be through people. So sometimes, no matter how spiritual you are, you still want to feel that, okay, God is going to talk to you through either a pastor or somebody you respect. So I think what we can just tell people must be, whatever choices you make. I'm always about adults making choices and taking responsibility for their choices. So in this case, Ejiro has made an adult choice of where she is. Now, many of our friends, family, loved ones might not be happy about it, but she's an adult and she has said, okay, I'm going this way. Now, if it was a bad decision, that's what family is there for you, to support you in that that eventuality happens. But I think that the truth is that we must be cautious of the kinds of places we go to, the kind of people we listen to, because we've all been through this part. I've shared my own, you shared yours. Everybody had this opportunity, this experience where you've been somewhat manipulated. I have been recruited.
What's wrong?
So you know, so now there's nothing you can say to me. You cannot.
You are hardened.
You can't. Once I have them come to me, Mariah, my dream. The other say, if you are dreaming
on this show, many people have seen us in our dreams.
I have.
Somebody will bring letter that my father sent and say, when my father comes to you again, you know what? Tell him that I know this thing. You should come to me directly. If he cannot come to me directly.
Yes, and then this thing happened with my husband. So, you know, my husband lost his dad. So every time they're always coming to tell him, your dad came to me in a dream and he said this, he said that. He said, my husband said, I sleep every night and I sleep deeply.
You should come and tell me.
How come he has not come to me? Please tell him to come. If he comes to your dream next time, tell him to come and meet me. I want to hear from him directly.
My husband is a very spiritual person, so he's into this kind of dream. Once you say you dream, any other thing can tell Brown. The moment you say, I dreamt, you listen to, hey, what happened? So the children already know that dream matters. I can catch daddy. They know the bottom. If they want to catch daddy, daddy, I had a dream. You sit down. Listen to so what happened. Even me as a wife, I started formulating the other day. I wanted to get into something. I had to put a dream inside. Hey, God told you that yes, God.
Oh my God.
God told me. Just said, I had this dream, and then he took it on the matter on his head. Very good. So I guess they study us. People will study each other. This is how to catch you, and they know the kind of people to catch.
They go after.
They go after. Not people like me. I have passed.
Then we bring letter.
That's all.
Fela said, come.
They can take on this segment. We go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring in our Wednesday Woman We Love. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it. You'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals or to music concerts, Events Diary has something for everyone. So join me as we explore the vibrant tapestry of Nigerian scene, one event at a time.
Brand new studio, brand new set, a new face, but still your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
It's a fresh new energy, new vibe. You smell that?
Now that's the smell of tasty, tantalizing food from our various chefs.
And when it comes to sports updates with insightful analysis, the place you want to be is Wake Up Nigeria.
That's right. Every second there's a fresh occurrence, and every minute there's a story to tell. Keep abreast of happening locally and internationally via the news updates of Wake Up Nigeria.
It's light camera fashion, where we cut, slay, and sachet and keep you updated with all the latest fashion trends.
Level up your morning.
Watch Wake Up Nigeria, where every morning begins with a spark.
Hey my people, I greet you plenty.
My name is Nachika Okeke.
My name na Uwi Balogun.
My name na Damilola Banire. My name na Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen.
And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass boss. I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
Now wetin you want?
After that day, the man
You no go see am
disappear.
again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy small thing, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person wey go give am to you, fact as e be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby not dey for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person you make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open curtain in the morning, wetin no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Husband, look, we no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some period.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Good morning, Marina Station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government that will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
Thanks for staying with us. Unfortunately, our guest couldn't make it, so we'll have to continue with this stuff because we got lots more comments on social media. And still on the Ijiro matter, I even saw a message from Pastor Nkechi, which is Enichen Kuto, on social media. And I think this matter is really brewing. I'd like to read out what she said in one of her last posts. I think she posted this, some time ago. Say, my heart is so broken because many young ladies joined the group, that's the prayer group, because of some known influencers that are also in the group and they are admin. I'm yet to come to terms with all I'm hearing and watching. These are ladies that are being seen in big churches preaching the gospel. Just imagine how many souls they have introduced to the group from the different platforms and churches they came to minister. Is it that churches didn't discern the spirits they are inviting to their platforms? I mean, this is interesting because it's the modern way of recruitment where they are forming these groups, and they call it also, they give it attractive names to bring you in. It could be your 2026 is going to emerge, or coming into the new, or finding yourself. All these captivating phrases would capture you to come and attend the events to pray. And then you see people as admin. That gives you some kind of trust that, okay, these people are credible. And in that, you're able to give everything. So if you're in a group where you have celebrities, influencers, where they're saying, give up this amount of money, this amount of give up your car, give up this. Many they will feel obligated or inclined to actually participate because the only reason why they are there is because of breakthrough. We are all looking for miracles.
All of us want to blow. It's not easy to be poor in Nigeria. You don't want to be poor in Nigeria. You will take disrespect. You will take people as in like life is horrible in poverty in Nigeria. So everybody wants to and that desperation pushes people to do all sorts of things. I was saying during the break that I went to a prayer meeting. It's called Life Sorting Out. I cannot even, and the only reason I went was because I saw Akanani that used to be on TVC doing his testimonial video. After I saw Aka's testimonial video, I went to their website and then I saw, Ifedro Simieti. There were many celebs that were testifying that when they came for the prayer meeting, their life changed. When they went out, they blew. Myself, I paid. Not only did I pay, I paid for myself and my husband. Then I started kneeling down to beg him, please, Mark, our life needs to change. We have not blown. We have worked too hard. I begged and begged and begged.
Has your life not blown now?
He finally agreed.
Has your life not blown now?
He finally agreed for us to go. People were testifying like in a few months. Nothing happened in a few months. When we got there, 3 days fasting, we paid though. It got some money because it was in VI. The hotel is on this road. We used, is it Best Western? This hotel on this road. So it wasn't cheap. We had our own room. Then we go for the meeting. We would do vigil. In that same sorting out, there was, I met Kule Remy. There were many celebrities that still came for the sorting out. Some people, I keep coming again and again because God wants to sort out your life. You want your life sorted out. You need to pray. But here is something. I do not believe that I need to pray away ancestral spirits. That I've already given my life to Christ. Ancestral spirits cannot have power over me. So when the prayer point, there was a long session dealing on deliverance of ancestral spirits. I knew that this is not the place for me and I disconnected. While it might be relevant to someone, for me, it was not a place I wanted to go anymore because I needed to be sure that everything I'm doing aligns with the way I understand God. So I think that like anybody can fall for it. That's the reason I'm sharing that story.
You sowed a seed.
Yeah.
We are seeing the fruit of the seed.
No.
This is great.
I know the land.
At Best Western.
I know the land. I know the land where the seed that I've sown, it grew. I know the land I sowed the seed. It's the land I've been sowing the seed. My church that I've been attending since forever. That's still where the seed is growing.
Let me take.
Sometimes I'm looking for short skirts, which is what they said.
Let me take Ifeanyi. Thanks for calling Ifeanyi. You're live. Good morning, Ifeanyi. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, for life sorting out.
Go ahead, please. Are you listening to the TV? Talk to me directly, please. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I want to say good morning to all of you beautiful ladies. I always check your program.
Thank you.
Yeah, God bless you. I'm a pastor.
Okay.
And that's why I say let me contribute to this topic.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. The problem we are having is that some so-called men of God, wolves in sheep clothing, they have spoiled the name of the men of God, other genuine men of God. So that is why you see these things happening. If not, I would have said a man of God telling maybe somebody that this is what God said concerning you. We have some genuine prophets that hear from God and pass the message. And one thing everybody should ask for, pray for, is the spirit of discernment. Because if you have that spirit of discernment, when a prophet is telling you something, with that spirit of God, of discernment in you, you will know if this prophet is telling you. Your spirit man will give you a signal. But if you are not, maybe you are just the type that live life anyhow, then when they tell you something, you will not have that spirit of discernment. You say, okay, let me do as they say. Because I'm a pastor, I'm the prophet. I know when I tell some people something, I will tell them that I'm not forcing you, but try it and see. And by the grace of God, many of them obeyed and tried. They come with testimony. So, but I'm not disputing that there are some fake ones that have spoiled the name of other men of God. So that's why it looks as if there is no genuine man of God anywhere anymore. And so, but the truth of the matter is, some individuals are the problem. They have this mentality that whatsoever they are doing, they are giving in the church or sowing in the church, they are sowing to the man of God. They don't see that they are sowing to God. God cannot come down. Pastors are representative of God. It's like that Bible. And I want you to know also that some people's prayer are more effective than some other people. It's in the word of God that the prayer of the righteous are very effective.
But it's
You
hard to know who's
understand?
righteous these days anymore. Thank you very much, Fine. Because the truth is, it's really difficult to know who is right. I mean, everybody can come across as righteous, but many people aren't anymore. So it's only yourself you can trust that your own prayer will get to God.
My own problem is the righteous people in a lot of churches seem to be the rich people. The rich people sit in front, the poor people sit at the back.
Not in all churches.
That was back then.
Not
This thing
in
you said
all
this
churches.
like 10 years ago when this show started. It's not still happening. It doesn't happen anymore. That was it's outdated.
So they will let the house girl go and sit in front.
Everybody can sit anywhere. That's outdated. We are using olden days.
We have left that WhatsApp group.
You can.
That doesn't happen. But we have left that
one doesn't happen anymore. That one has died long time ago. You enter church and you sit anywhere.
Anywhere.
Sit. Nobody's going to chase you away.
Yes.
You know, I've been to church.
You are invited to my church.
I've been to church.
I've been to shrine. You're not been to church. You went for an event. An event, of course, there'll be designated areas for the celebrant's family. And that one, so that is different for you to go to church. Let me invite you to my church.
I will come just to prove myself.
No problem.
Come. I won't tell you when I'm coming.
I'll give you the address.
I will not
show up
tell
in
you
my
when
church.
I'm coming. I will just show up.
Show up. You see.
You are welcome.
Whatever I see there, I will come and say.
No problem.
Because my friend stopped me from coming to our church.
You.
Because what I saw there, I came and said it here.
No, you can't sit there. RCCG, we don't do that kind of thing. You just sit anywhere. Yes, the pastor's area, certainly, but everybody can sit anywhere. Then elders might sit in front. You know, sometimes, because we have certain people sitting in front, because the altar is a spiritual place.
Right, I don't even go there. In our church, you can sit anywhere. And many churches, you can sit anywhere. So, let's continue.
Okay. Anyways, going back to
the same job.
So, but we are both in the same body of
we have to wrap up. Let's take a few comments. We're going to be wrapping up.
Okay. So, for me, like, I just pray that, she's, because I like the fact that her family, they are seeing what's going on and they are really, really trying to help her. So, like, I just pray and hope that they'll be able to save her from it. Because seriously, she's being manipulated.
But who benefits from this? From this whole, I don't call it an industry, but this entire thing of getting somebody who is the sole beneficiary?
Is the pastor.
The pastor?
The prophetess.
Yes.
The prophet, the pastor, that's the beneficiary.
But can people see that? Like when somebody says, give up this, give up your business, because according to this story, Ejiro has allegedly shut down her page, she hasn't posted, she has not done her business, and people are saying, that is very scary. But my worry is that for her, she sees it as it's beneficial to me because I want to consecrate myself to serve God. Because in the long term, God will bless me.
Because she feels that a relationship with God can be earned through service, giving, some form of sacrifice. The truth is, you cannot earn the love of God. There is nothing you will do that can earn you. If you feel undeserving, you will not see it. Because God already loves you in your imperfection. He loves you the way you are. You give, He loves you. You don't give, He loves you. The principles of giving is about seed sowing and harvest. It has nothing to do with whether God loves you. But sometimes we have this feeling, people have told us that if you had an accident on the road, it's because it must have been because you did not pray that morning. God is not punishing you now. He's not out to punish you.
So let me bust your bubble, you can see after all these things, she can come out and then you now see that she progress and she become something massive and all of that. And she will know that
I will love that
because of faith.
How about
strong faith?
Not about
that she believe. No, after doing all of these things, she believed that after making all these sacrifices, that something is going to come out of it now. And if it definitely comes out of it, she'll believe that it's because of these sacrifices that she made.
But it might not be.
Faith,
but it might be.
Faith.
It's a 50% chance.
You are part of the problem.
It might not be. And it will not even be.
I'm hearing from both of you. What am I hearing?
No, I'm saying it will not be. I'm supporting you.
Me, I'm saying it can be.
Because you are part of this.
No. Yes. There was someone that wanted to pray for me. I said the person should not pray. The person wants to pray for my breakthrough. Breakthrough that God has been cooking for me for plenty years. You now say you are the one. There is someone that is claiming I'm her mentee. I'm a mentor. I'm like, you are not my mentor. I know where I'm getting my advice from. I lay down. It's not your hand that changed my life. So people like when you are doing well, everybody will be claiming they supported you on your journey. We know who supported us.
Thank you for that. Somebody recently, when they heard a few things I'm working on, you know, just to be part of that. That's again, I'm going to send you some prayer points. I want you to pray it. You see what will happen. I'm like,
it's going to happen already. Whether you pray or you do not pray.
God is already working in it's not a prayer point now that will change. So me, I already know. I know how to guard myself, but a lot of people don't, because the fact is that prayer point I got from when I prayed that prayer like this, heaven came down.
And sometimes there are several these manipulations we're talking about. When you go to plenty churches, and that's one of the things that you're saying, today you are in this church, you went to this mountain, tomorrow you are on this prayer altar, next tomorrow you're not, like you alone, you have like 15 prophets, 10 pastors, 5 morning prayer you are doing. When God answers, where will you share the testimony? You know, there was a crisis that happened a year ago where 2 people posted the same testimony. 2 big platforms. You know, those are pray around at 6 to 7. 2 big platforms posted the same testimony and said it was from their own prayer altar. Who now give glory to God? Just serve God. All this drama that we're looking for. Serve God. Because you know, even the person that testifying cannot say this is where the miracle happened, because you are going from place to place. I have to stop doing all those things.
I think I have a call. Good morning. You're live.
Let me take comments.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Go ahead.
All of you.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Okay, I just want to make my contribution.
Yes.
I've got a spirit, and we all are spiritual beings. I don't think we need anybody to talk to God on our behalf. If we know who we are, we don't need a third party, we don't need a pastor to talk to God on our behalf. You talk to God directly the way you converse with your friends. That's why I align with what Chopper said. You don't need a third party. Talk to God the way you talk to your friends. You just go in the quietness of your room and discuss with God as if you're discussing with somebody. By so doing, some of the antics of this manipulators or pastors will reduce to the barest minimum. That's my submission. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. I was going to ask if that's a real name, McBlunt, but go ahead.
Yes, we have more comments. So somebody was like, I won't take that comment. Olade says she may not have joined for physical gains that comes at the end, but a naive person that actually just wants to serve God. And sometimes that can be very valid. Someone else, Mont Rushmore says, Ejiro may not even be looking towards earthly reward here. It's the same. 2 people said the same thing. Time Media says, Auntie Yenny, that was in Anglican church. They do that to make sure the rich men have space in church when they arrive, so they will continue to show up. I don't know if that's a fact, but according to somebody is trying to find out the church. Hafik World, I think that's our T. Hafik World says a pastor's prophecy is supposed to be a confirmation to God or to you of what God told you. If you know, you know.
Absolutely.
Let me let you take some.
Okay, so there's one. They said the problem people are looking for. The problem is that people are looking for quick solution. That's why they get into those groups. And then he said, of course, genuine prophets have always heard from God. And,
okay, we have to wrap up. I think really in a nutshell, listen, it's either here nor there, because some people do experience this isolation and they have a testimony, a positive testimony. Others do it and it goes downhill because obviously they were manipulated or brainwashed. So as I said, you can't really say where it's coming from, but the truth is that know thyself, know who you are, know what you are able to take and what you're able to not to take. Ejiro has made a decision, an adult decision. Now we pray that is genuine and she sees a testimony in it, and if she doesn't, she's going to have to suffer the consequences of whatever decision she's made. But however, those of us who are still alert and aware, we must be conscious of where we're going to
use that statement. Still alert.
No.
I've said it all. Still alert and aware.
Yeah, aware.
Meaning,
you haven't been
those ones are not alert and aware. May not be alert and aware.
Because the reality is that these things happen. I have experienced on both sides. I've seen how things are. I have sacrificed, and I know I've seen the blessings of God. And I've also been manipulated. You know, I've been put in a group, almost trying to get a group. I told you here when I was depressed. You know, when I was many years ago, and I thought that a small group was trying to recruit me you know, told me that I am a lesbian, and I was believing them because I felt unattractive. I just finished up my wheelchair. I was in boots. I'd gained a lot of weight, and my whole this side was black, and my scar was still there. I was wearing my head tie. I was on my friends were going for clubs. I couldn't go anywhere. I just felt like unwanted. I was feeling very horrible. And
in that moment,
her name was Susan. Susan was the head of the lesbians group in the second floor. I was on the first floor, and she was always in baggages, chairs, boots, and I remember them. And they would come and call me to my room and say, "Hey, Mariah, are you there?" And I'll be there thinking that they're my friends. And I started hanging out with them. I thought, maybe I'm actually a lesbian. Maybe that, you know. So they were recruiting me until my brother went, see, are you okay? You're Nigerian. You know. So he removed it, care from me. So those things happen. Again, it goes to our person. What are you susceptible to?
People around you.
Having people around you to support you. And that's
you have shared 2 stories about how they pulled you out. So please, don't stop shouting Ejiro on social media to help her out. Let's not say she's an adult.
That is all we can take.
She will eventually see it.
And then pray.
That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.